can't decide between the comfort of a jacket style BCD and the superior underwater trim of a back inflate system, with the Cressi Emperor BCD, you don't have to. This hybrid promises the best of both worlds. But does it actually deliver? Let's dive in and find out. Hey, I'm Torben from DIVEIN, the place where we test and review scuba gear to bring you the best of the underwater world. In this video, we'll go through what the Emperor BCD offers, including a walkthrough of all the features. We'll talk about what we like and what we don't like about this BCD. And last but not least, I'll tell you whether or not I think that this is a BCD that you should buy, or at least that who should buy it. All right, before we come to the actual review, I have an announcement to make, because as you probably know, here at DIVEIN, we test a lot of dive gear, and even though we love it, we can't use it all. So at some point in this video, I'll let you know how you can get your hands on some of the gear we've been testing, be it a BCD, a regulator, a light, or whatever we've been testing in a done test, and we'll send it to one of you guys. So make sure you watch the whole video so you know how you can get your hands on it. The Cressi Emperor is a comfort first jacket style BCD with a featured rear bladder, and I want to give you a bit of context to this before we move on with the actual review. So this is, when you're looking at it like this, it's a standard BCD. You have your front sides here that inflates with air, then you have your shoulder straps that hold everything in place, you have a waistband in front. You've probably been trained diving on a BCD much looking like this. Then in the world of diving, a lot of other things are coming in, and the BCD, which this stands for Buoyancy Control Device, is also moving more towards both back inflate BCDs and also backplate and wing systems. These are a bit different, but all in all, they do the same as the standard BCD you were taught diving in. They hold a tank and helps you control your buoyancy in a nice and safe manner. And that's exactly what this BCD does as well. But where this one is different from the other systems is it works as your classical BCD with, you know, a wrap around. We have the pockets, we have the integrated weights, we have straps and so on, adjustable straps. But then here on the back is where it's different. I hope you can see it here. We have a back inflate wing. So this means that you have air in the sides and you have air on the back. And where this is special is that you actually have two ways of trimming yourself underwater. You have, when you're in the water, the back inflate, the back wings help you really nice, stable trim position because the air moves up to the wings and giving you a nice trim. That's what we always want. We want to be level in the water. It creates less drag. You get a better profile when you're swimming. It's a much nicer way of being in the water than head up, feet down. That's okay when you're on a surface interval. If you want that, you can look around. But when you're diving, when you're swimming, you want that flat position. Where the Cressi Emperor BCD comes in is that when you're head up, for example, in the surface, air moves from the bladder or top bladder down to the sides of it, keeping you in a nice upright position. Whereas back inflate and backplate and wing will keep you more pushed back because there's no air in the front, there's only air in the back. So that's kind of where the hybrid of the Emperor BCD comes in. Now, there's a lot of other features, so let's just do a quick walkthrough of all the features of the Emperor BCD system. Let's start top right shoulder here. We have the dump valve, so you pull here, right hand shoulder, and then of course you release air. Now if you move down the shoulder here, we have this swivel system where you can turn it so it kind of moves with your body, and still a quick release. Big and nice buckle to pull. It feels secure. The only thing I could feel is that this system is fail safe, but it seems solid as well, and so far we haven't had any issues or heard of any issues. There is nice mesh padding all the way on the insides, on sides. Nice and comfortable BCD. The back shield of this one as well, it's not really there, so all you have is that padding, so it doesn't have that fixed plastic shield as some of the other systems. Still, it feels rigid. Then we have the waist strap here, and I want to show this in here because you can actually adjust this system. Let's see if I can show you here as well. So if you pull this out, you can make this one, so this is a large version, but you can make this one even larger. Or if you're not that big, you can pull that one in. Now, I can't really show, but you can actually do the same thing with the strap as well. You can pull that out for you. So you can pull this one in, tighten the quick release in front as well. So you can really tighten it in, make it nice and tucked for you, or you can loosen it out if you're bigger around the belly. Then we have the octo pocket up here. Really nice, you just tucked out the octo hose in there and it sits right there within the triangle. Moving out to the sides, we have big, nice pockets zipped up with some mesh at the bottom if you come closer here, with some mesh to drain the water if you have something coming in there. Size-wise, nice and big, and you can put in, you know, the garbage you find or slates or whatever you want in that one. We have, let's quick here, D-rings up here, D-rings down at the side here. We have one at the top right shoulder as well, and you have a plastic D-ring out here. Then we have the quick release weight drop pockets. It feels nice and secure. You pull it out, easy to pull out, and you put it in and you hear that nice click. That means it's locked in safely. Front buckle as well, we talked about that. Left shoulder, we have the same D-ring. And then coming to the left side, we have same D-rings as we had on the right side. And down here as well. And then same big, nice zipped pocket on this side. Then of course, left shoulder, you have your inflated. This is the standard Cressi inflated, quite small profile. Works as it should, you know, inflate, deflate. Velcro to protect it or keep it in place. This one works as well as a safety dump valve. So if you pull this one, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's air coming out. You can of course also orally inflate this one. Let's turn it around. Closer look on the back. So we saw the weight pockets up here. And then we have the trim pockets back here, nice and large, secured with Velcro. And then you have an extra buckle here, which is quite solid, so you don't feel like you're dropping them out. And as I mentioned, we don't have that plastic shield on this back, which means it's a bit more soft in it. You attach it or strap it in like with this top buckle, and then you have the tank band sitting quite low actually compared to a lot of other BCDs, but because this one is down here and not as rigid, it feels really comfortable when you're diving with it. You don't feel that you don't have that plastic shield on the inside. Quick note on that one, the Emperor is the men's model, and for women, Cressi offers the electric BCD. It's also a hybrid. We have a review of that one coming up, so I'll link it up here, so you can check that one out as well if you're looking for a women's BCD. Now, let's talk about what we like and what we don't like about the Cressi Emperor. So the first part to like is, of course, all of the features that we just mentioned previously. But what really sets the Emperor apart is how these features come together in the water. The trim control of the air bladder wing, how that works. And it works exactly as you promised. As you can see in this footage here on the screen, I'm able to achieve a perfect, nice trim position with flat profile, as you can say. I'm in the water, I'm able to trim perfectly in a standard jacket style BCD. With the Emperor, you really are able to get that really nice proper trim position. This is both possible in a dry suit, in a 7mm, or even in a rash guard. So that's a really nice add-on for that. On the surface, and the surface comfort is also a really big step, because as I mentioned earlier, when you're at the surface, air can switch to the sides, keeping you in a nice head-up position. I think that's super important for divers who are not too comfortable being pushed down in the water. If you're a bit unsure, or if you have a longer surface time where you're waiting for a boat to come and pick you up, it's nice to be in a relaxed down head up position instead of being pushed a bit forward down into the water. The swivel buckles of the Emperor is a really nice add-on. It's comfortable to have on. You can control it. You have your chest strap. You can adjust the straps as well. So you can really get a nice fitting BCD with all of these features. And coming in as well with the padding, giving you extra comfort. There's padding on the sides, there's padding on the backs, there's massive paddings on the shoulders, making it a really nice and comfortable BCD to wear, especially when we're comparing that to a backplane wing or your standard, like the rental BCDs that you might have been trying out a few times. This is so much more comfortable to have on and to be using for dives. As more standard features as well, we have the integrated weights. That's a nice add-on. You get this proper click in. When you put them in, you know they're secure, they hold up. Really nice weight on. And then you have on the back, you have these trim pockets, allowing you again to achieve this proper trim. It's also doesn't have a hard shield, meaning even though that, like, when the tank is on, you still have proper support in it, but it also means that when you're packing up, you can actually pack it down quite well because you don't have this ricket shield. So depending on the space that you are when you're moving your BCD from one place to another, or if you're traveling with it, that's a big plus. So the things we don't like as much about the Cressi Emperor BCD, because of course there's always things that could be better. The low profile, low pressure inflator hose, or releasing the air of that one was too slow. I found that on the surface, especially when you have a full BCD, releasing that air was simply too slow with this one. So I had to pull the right shoulder dump valve working much faster. underwater while controlling buoyancy. It didn't have the issue because you're not releasing air that fast, at least. But it's just a thing to be aware of in case of, let's say, an emergency really needs the air out fast. You need to be able to pull the dump valves. There's dump valves on the right shoulder and there's one on the back as well. So you got plenty. And you can also pull the low pressure inflator hose and then you have one on your left shoulder as well. So plenty of options of getting rid of the air. It's just that, especially on the surface, we're adding out too little air. It's a nice big BCD, also meaning that it takes up a lot of space when you're packing it in. Weight of it is not extreme, so it's not that you can't travel with it. It's just, if you're looking for a travel BCD, there are better options. Other than that, it's a stand-up BCD. You could say the pockets that have these zip pockets really nice, but sometimes, especially when you're using the integrated weights, they do become a bit small. This is quite common for most BCDs. You can still use them. I used them to pick up trash on one of the dives, could fit it in, could pull it out afterwards. It's just a thing to be aware of. Now let's answer the big question. Would you recommend the Cressi Emperor BCD? Yes, absolutely. But let's add some context because this comes up quite often. Emperor BCD or BCD versus backplate and wings. The real story is no matter where you look on the internet, forums, Facebook groups, you name it, you'll see people asking which BCD should I buy, and half of the responses will say get a backplate and wing. Does that mean BCDs like the Emperor are obsolete? No, not really. Backplate and wings are fantastic, especially for cold water diving where you're carrying more weights. The backplate distributes the weight better and gives you better trim. If you dive mostly cold water or plan to do more tech diving, yes, backplate and wings is probably your best bet. But most recreational divers don't always dive in cold water or carry big loads, and many want comfort, simplicity, and functions like, integrated weights, quick release buckles, great comfort. And what we all want is nice trim. And that's exactly what the Emperor offers. It's not as good as backplate and wings. It's still good for most recreational diving. And on the surface, the Emperor is much more comfortable and more comfortable than a back inflate BCD or a backplate and wing system. So who's this good for? Divers moving up from the rental or basic jacket BCD, recreational divers who want comfort but a better trim in the water than a standard BCD, instructors who are spending time at the surface doing classes, divers who want versatility, a BCD for warm water or mixed water temperatures. This is a good one as well. If you want the ultimate trim, modularity and weight distribution, go backplate and wings. But if you want comfort, stability, ease of use, really nice features, then the Emperor BCD would definitely be on my list as a BCD to go for. Now we're at that point where you have a chance to win some of the dive gear that we've been testing here at DIVEIN. So all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel. Then go to the first link in the description, that's to our newsletter, and sign up to the newsletter because that's also where we'll announce the winners. And last but not least, in the comments below, tell us which of the features we talked about here for the Cressi Emperor that you would like to have or could see yourself using on a BCD, and which of the features you wouldn't like as much in this BCD. So tell us your thoughts of the Cressi BCD, and then you're part of the draw of some of the dive gear we've been testing. That's all for now. As always, happy diving.